Passing Energy with your host, Priest. With your host, Priest. When this milk start yapping, that's it. When that's it. Prepare to be enlightened and entertained. When that's it. Hey guys, Priest here, and welcome to Passing Energy. And I'm here with I'll try to make a quick podcast to talk about this very interesting conversation that went down with Whoopi Goldberg, EGOT, which is Emmy, Oscar, and Grammy winner. I don't know if I said it in the right order. She is a correspondent on The View. And she said something very interesting, very controversial. If it's something controversial, it's like a scent. I have to attach myself to it. So I gallop on over to see what all the hoopla was about. Wow. But before we get into all that, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube. Also, if you're on the podcast streaming services, follow us on there. Also, rate the podcast. And yeah, let's get into today's episode. Before I give my opinion, y'all need to listen to what she had to say. So here's the clip of what Whoopi Goldberg had to say about the Holocaust.
History that makes white people look bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is white people doing it to white people.
Yeah.
So this is, y'all go fight amongst yourselves, but don't, Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
It is. Well, they consider Jews about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's about
but
going
it's
after Jews
not about
and
race.
But these are two
Romans.
white groups of people.
Well, they go after black
They
people
didn't see them as white people.
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other. So if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, I don't wanna be like that.
Well, hopefully.
I want to be cruel.
Yeah.
And
Most kids, they don't want to be cruel.
No, they don't.
And we're living in an era where people are comparing that.
So you heard the clip of Whoopi. My thing is this, right? Before I give my opinion, I see where she's trying to go with it. Because I listened to so much different podcasts about this conversation, different shows, news outlet, whatever, and they were saying basically the same thing that everyone else was saying, right? My podcast is not all about that. I'm not trying to go with the mass talking points or the mass thinking. I always try to look at it through human lens and my individual thought, and not what everyone telling me how I should think. So, and just in case anyone who's a View watcher or this is podcast, not PC. It's not politically correct. We here to learn from each other. We're not here to silence everyone's thought, because we silence people, we'll never learn. How am I going to learn if you don't actually try to get the time, instead of telling me what to do, try to understand what someone's trying to say, and then we have a dialogue, and then boom, we come to our conclusion. But this way this world is, we all be one mind. It's so bland, so boring. That's not how we was made. But anyway, so I say all this to say this. I see where she's trying to go with the conversation. She's going to the conversation from a surface level. When I say surface, I mean that what she could see. Because most Jews, they look skin tone wise or features, they look white or Caucasian. So when she was saying that, she was trying to say, it's white on white, basically white on white crime. Like I didn't say in America, black on black crime, it's a white on white crime. So she's trying to say it's not a race thing. But that's what she's saying from a surface level. But that's not the case. You know, people who are from Jewish background don't see it that way. You know, they don't see it that way. You know, and you cannot tell people how to feel, how to view their trauma. Just like how white people want to tell black people how to view their trauma. That's not how it works. But boy, Whoopi got a rude awakening. Rude awakening. One thing you don't do is you don't talk bad about the Jews. That's one thing she learned the hard way about that. You could talk about black people up and down, up and down. You could talk about us all and now. Every community but the Jews. You don't mess with them because they're the ironclad community, and I respect them for that. They went through trauma and they flipped their trauma and became successful. That's something the black community is still struggling to do. And, you know, that's a whole other conversation. But I admire how they were able to flip it. So one of the biggest people who, those banks and some of those productions in Hollywood, owned by Jews. Walmart, some of them investors are big time Jews. So I admire that. And boy, Whoopi, I don't know, Whoopi was an OG. But this would come with discernment. Discernment, I think she wasn't trying to minimize their hurt. I think she's just trying to say that, because she said multiple times, it's just evil. I think she's trying to say, oh, it's not a race thing. Because I think Whoopi, I think she's probably tired of hearing the word race this, race that. I don't know. That's the impression I got from all that, the fact that not everything's racism. That's the thought process I received. The energy I received from Whoopi Goldberg was the fact that I'm tired of the word racism. Like, when are we going to just say stuff is just evil? Why everything has to be race? But one thing I must say, when I look at her co-hosts, they was trying to correct her or interject, and Whoopi was like, no. Whoopi, you have to be able to allow other people to have an opinion. You know, that's your opinion. That don't mean it's right. Just because they have an opinion don't mean that they're right. Guys, excuse me if I sound a little different. I'm using my phone because I'm not actually at my little office where I record my podcast. So if it sounds different, you know now. So Whoopi did this situation, and she went on the late night show and doubled down on what she said. Well, hey, take a listen to this.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
And
Good to see you again.
And you.
Now, you made some news this morning.
Yes.
On The View.
Yes, I did.
When y'all were talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And would you care to follow up, clarify what you said this morning?
I don't know,
because it confused some people.
It upset a lot of people.
Yes.
Which was never, ever, ever, ever my intention. I thought we were having a discussion because I feel, being black, when we talk about race, it's a very different thing to me. Mm-hmm. So I said that I felt that the Holocaust wasn't about race. And people got very, very, very angry, and still are angry. I mean, I'm getting, you know, all of the mail from folks, and the very real anger, because people feel very differently. But I thought it was a salient discussion because, as a black person, I think of race as being something that I can see. So I see you, and I know what race you are. And the discussion was about how I felt about that. I felt that it was really more about man's inhumanity to man and how horrible people can be to people. And we're seeing it manifest itself these days. But people were very angry, and they said, no, we are a race. And I understand. I felt differently. I respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize. You know, I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was saying. And so because of it, they're saying that I'm anti-Semitic and that I'm denying the Holocaust and all these other things, which, you know, would never occur to me to do. I thought we were having a discussion about race, which everyone, I think, is having.
As the white guy in the conversation here, I am neither Jewish nor am I black, and so I have a different perspective of all of this.
Yes.
It seems to me that whiteness is a construct created by colonial powers during the beginning of colonial imperialist era in order to exploit other people, and that they could apply it to all different kinds of people, that idea of race. And the American experience tends to be based on skin.
Yes, and so that is what race means to me. When you talk about being a racist, I was saying you can't call this racism. This was evil. This wasn't based on the skin. You couldn't tell who was Jewish. They had to delve deeply to figure it out.
Well, I think one of the reasons why that people might say, and again, I'm not Jewish and I'm black,
Right.
but as someone who understands, what I've read of how the Nazis operated, when they found out that you were of the Jewish race,
right.
That's why they'd make you wear a star,
Yes.
so they could see you and
so they could identify you. But
Yes.
my point is, they had to do the work. If the Klan is coming down the street, and I'm standing with a Jewish friend, and neither one, well, I'm gonna run. But if my friend decides not to run, they'll get passed by most times because you can't tell who's Jewish. You don't know. It's not something that people say, oh, that person is Jewish or this person is Jewish. And so that's what I was trying to explain. And I understand that not everybody sees it that way, and that I did a lot of harm, I guess, to myself. And people, decided I was all these other things. I'm actually not. And I'm incredibly torn up by being told these things about myself. And, I get it. Folks are angry. I accept that, and I did it to myself. This was my thought process, and I will work hard not to think that way again.
Have you come to understand that the Nazis saw it as race?
Well,
because they might, asking the Nazis, they would say, yes, it's a racial issue.
Well, see, this is what's interesting to me, because the Nazis lied. It wasn't. They had issues with ethnicity, not with race, because most of the Nazis were white people, and most of the people they were attacking were white people. So to me, I'm thinking, how can you say it's about race if you are fighting each other? So it all really began because I said, how will we explain to children what happened in Nazi Germany? I said, this wasn't racial. This was about white on white. And everybody said, no, it was racial. And so that's what this all came from. So once again, don't write me anymore. I know how you feel. Okay, I already know, I get it. And I'm going to take your word for it and never bring it up again.
We have to take a quick break, but stick around. We'll be right back with more Whoopi Goldberg, everybody.
So now it was just revealed that she got suspended from ABC for 2 weeks. I'm really surprised. Whoopi's their moderator. A legend like Whoopi Goldberg, she got suspended. That's very embarrassing. As soon as they went to break, because you heard when they put the music, they say, miss, can you shut up, please? Can you shut up? They had to play the music to cut the thing off. That commercial break went so fast. I'm sure they told her behind the scenes when they went to commercial break, whatever, do 2 minutes of commercial break. They, Whoopi, no, you can't say that. You gotta take that back. And Whoopi tried to double down, went on the late night show, and still, I'm like, well, so is my boss. That's when you arrogant. I mean, I don't know Whoopi arrogant, but she really convicts. When your people who are in charge of making sure you look good, telling you that no, that's not right, you gotta take it back, I'm gonna take it back. Mean it or don't mean it. See, this people have to understand the difference between kitchen table talk and public consumption. Not everything I believe, I'm going to say it on my podcast, on my YouTube. I have a deep theory on different other stuff on life. But I'm going to keep that to myself, keep that to my friends, my family, people who could use discernment and be like, okay, I know priests. I know how priests think. So I know he doesn't mean it that way. So I'm not going to take it that way. I'm just going to take it as him just talking. You need to talk to people who understand you. Even if you're saying a bunch of garbage, they were able to not be able to be furious and try to cancel you, but they'll try to, educate you or just, brush it off like, yeah, that's just how you is, whatever. Not everything is proper consumption. Not everything the masses is going to understand. And because they have no empathy for you, they're going to destroy you because there's no empathy. So you talking about stuff, your inner thoughts, to people who are not going to appreciate it. Well, not appreciate it, who are not going to empathize with you to say, you know what, I hear what you said, it's wrong, and, I know you don't mean nothing by it, but it's still wrong. When people have no empathy for you, burn at the stake. Burn up. But honestly, this is not me sticking up for, because this podcast is not even about sticking up for Whoopi Goldberg. This podcast is about just giving my thought on the whole situation, actually. I just feel, Whoopi, you's a OG. You work in the industry for a long time to know that certain topics you see what happened to Nick Cannon? Nick Cannon almost lost his whole show because of, when you talk about the Jewish communities, he lost his whole show. Wild 'N Out kicked him out, and I was really surprised that he didn't even own Wild 'N Out. I grew up watching that Wild 'N Out. He didn't even own that. But that's how fast it is. That's one community you ain't gonna play around with. That's one community. They stick together. Black people, black community, they need to be the blueprint on how to, it's not simple as their experience and our experience is somewhat different. It's a lot different because there's a genocide of killing of one community, and other community was put in servitude, and if they did not follow the rules, they would get killed. They're put on servitude, and they're used as objects for entertainment, sexual needs, and stuff like that. So, and then the Jews, I know only the surface level of the Holocaust. So please, any Jewish community can let me know in depth on, and even my black people, who could say in depth about what black people endured and also what the Jewish community endured. But I'm not trying to do a comparison. I'm just trying to say that, we still went through oppression, but just different type of oppression, because I think their one was just extermination, and our one was more of a servitude. If you did not follow the rules of your quote-unquote master, you end up getting punished or killed. And then you was just used like objects. So it's like a different type of oppression, but still the Jewish community flipped it. Like I said, they're ironclad, and the black community, we're so divided. We're so divided. We have some of us, a lot of in America, black people, they go and they do protests for black lives and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, black people around the world is like, yeah, that's your problem. We don't see race and all that kind of stuff. And on top of that, you have black people who, when they get in the room, they forget about you. Oh, what about Black Lives Matter? What? I'm at the Grammys. Who are you again? Huh? Who are you? I'm rich. So we don't know how to keep that same energy. We are a lot of us, not everyone, because I be talking about myself. So when I say a lot of black people, I don't mean every black people. I'm not talking about you and the person next to you. I'm talking about the black people who commit these things, who are easily bought by other race and what they selling, because they give you a couple $2. This is crazy. But I really do believe we need to look at the Jewish community and find a way how we can get so tight-notch and be able to have such a powerful force where if you talk about the black people or black community, you even mention the black community, you get shut down. We need that type of force. So I give the Jewish community a hand clap. Don't talk about other people's race or other people's issues. I will never talk about the Jewish community unless I have a Jew next to me who's from that community, who could sit here. I'm going to have my opinion, But who's going to say, no, 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 Bernard, no, 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 priest, listen to me. This is what happened. This was happened. And you're going to, I'm not going to talk with someone who's not even in the room. That's crazy. That's why I never understand. I see a bunch of white people on the panel talking with the black community. I'm trying to say you need to have a black person there. And a sensible black person. A sensible black person. But I do think that the world is turning into a one-mind situation, and there is no discernment in anything. You have to be outraged, automatically outraged, I think Whoopi, in my opinion, I respect Whoopi, but I gotta say what I gotta say. This ain't no PC. I think she was foolish. At your age, you in the industry, you seen it all. For you not to know that there's certain topics, that's like Nick Cannon. Well, Nick Cannon ain't an A celebrity like Whoopi. Nick Cannon's like, he just got close to an A status celebrity. Close. Because Nick was probably in the CB category. Because of Mariah Carey, he became more closer. But now over time, Nick is starting to get that more A status celebrity. So we kind of knew in this game when it comes to having that type of eyes on him. But Whoopi, who was an A celebrity from the jump, for her not to know, me, I'm from a small little island. A little dot. I know for fact what to say and what not to say. I still sometimes step in it, but in my own words, but still I know certain things you just don't do. And I don't even have the type of experience, especially as a younger person, I don't have the experience that Whoopi have to know that, you don't mess with certain people. You don't talk with certain things. Certain things you don't talk about. I don't even care if you was trying to defend it. I don't even care if you was trying to defend it. Anything about the Holocaust or anything, I ain't saying nothing about it. Let me not even try to make it all about the Jewish community. Let's say about the Asian community. Let's say about the Latino community. If I'm not part of that community, I don't even care if I praising it or whatever. I ain't talking about it. But any community that has a controversy, even if I'm trying to uplift, like say on the right side of the conversation, I still won't talk about it because at the end of the day, I am not part of that community and I'm not going to talk about something I don't know or I'm not from. Because there's always that moment you're going to slip up and people are going to take your words and run with it. Leave that to them. I don't think white people should be talking about certain things, about communities that they're not part of. Let the black people are educated enough to talk for themselves. You could stand in solitary. If you want to have a conversation, then that's something different. But to say you're going to have a segment on your show about controversy about black people, no. Without a black person there, no. I just think it's just you're opening up spaces to be misconstrued. And if you don't have the right people around you, you're going to say the wrong thing. That's just my opinion on the situation, So 2 weeks, Whoopi, I don't think it's so severe as how the media is trying to, like I said, you certainly don't talk about. But, Whoopi, good luck. Good luck. Your PR team have a lot of work to do. I don't understand how you went on a late night show and double down. That is so stupid. I'm silly. Your PR team, you paying them all that money. You tell me they couldn't tell you, Whoopi, don't talk about this. Whoopi, don't talk about this. Whoopi, I'm sorry. But hey, like they say, you're never too old to learn, right? So it's a learning experience or miss. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this conversation. Let me know what y'all think about this. Please like, share the video. Subscribe to Passing Energy if you've not subscribed to us yet. Make sure you, if you listen on the podcast service, rate the podcast and subscribe to the podcast. And all my social links will be there in the description. Also, let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this situation with Whoopi Goldberg. Even Nick Cannon, because I never covered the Nick Cannon situation. I just started to get up and running again. What do you think? Do you agree with Whoopi? I'm opening the conversation now. This is a safe place. And any people trying to come here trying to be messy, you could leave. I will block you and I will delete you. But you disagree, Whoopi, let me know in the comment section. Have a dialogue. Do you agree with what I'm saying about my assessment on the situation? Let me know. Let's have this conversation. Create a community where we can talk about stuff. I think I need to do a Discord because the way how the world going today is getting scary. You can't say nothing. It's a one-mind thing. But anyway, guys, I don't hold y'all up too long. So just let me know everything in the comment section. And yes, until next time, peace.